Hey guys, Bradley's Garage here. We've got our little BMW project we're working on, and so the brake lines are not any good, they're cracked. So we're going to go ahead and just take this apart, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and redo these calipers. Show you how easy that is. So first step obviously is get the caliper off. Yours may look different than this. This is a E46 Beamer, so it has a little clip on to hold the caliper. And then I use a flare nut wrench on the brake line. It just helps you from stripping the brake line, because then you'll be in a bad situation. So just get that free, and brake line is free from the car. So after you get that free, usually there's something that holds the brake line to the suspension tower, and then you got a little dust cap on your bleeder screw, and then locate your caliper bolts. So on this particular setup, obviously we have a caliper and carrier. On this design, a lot of cars just have the caliper itself, but they're always held on by 2 bolts. So once you get that free, now we already detached the brake line from the car, so just work that out. And like I said, this car has a carrier, so we need to get the carrier off as well. We want to do the restoration on that part as well. So get that off, and now we're ready to disassemble the caliper. So we need to push out these little rubber guides. So I just use my little pry tool, gets in there real nice and pushes them out without damaging them. And then we want to just break that loose, and we're gonna have to remove this as well. We want to, not paint that. So I just take the rubber off for now, and then we're not going to use this line. As you can see, it's totally cracked, so we're just going to cut it off. We don't want to get any caliper paint into the thread, so we're just going to cut the brake line off because we have new stainless lines going on. And then I just want to make sure the caliper is completely pushed back, so any remaining fluid is out of the way. So just cinch it down, and now we're ready for the wheel. So this is just a wire wheel. This is something we picked up for like 15 bucks off, online. They're readily available in your neighborhood, OfferUp, Marketplace, Craigslist, what have you. And you can get a new wheel from Harbor Freight or hardware store for a few bucks. And basically, just you want to clean up the surface. So there's going to be some surface rust, some, maybe some grease, some buildup. You can't get every single nook and cranny, so to speak, but the goal is obviously just to get the surface nice and clean, and hang on to that bad boy, because that wheel tries to take it for a ride, so you don't want it to rip out of your hand. So then after you got the wire wheel done, you want to just do some rest of the cleanup. I used to use a little brass brush with some gasoline, and it gets all the little areas that you couldn't get with the wheel. Like I said before, the goal is to get the surface free of oil, grease, debris. You want to have a nice clean surface for paint. As you can see, there's still some rusty looking stuff on the thing. Not to worry, just get it all cleaned up, back down to steel, aluminum, depending on the manufacturer of your caliper. That's the goal. So I just have a little gasoline with a brass brush and some brake clean to get it clean. So then we want to just get some painter's tape and mask off the rubber boot where the piston is. We don't want to get paint in there. If you were actually doing the powder coat route, this is where you would disassemble, take that piston out completely, and then you basically got them ready for powder coat. But we're painting, so just cover it up. Okay, we're just going to be using some Duplicolor Caliper Paint, red. So I pulled out the bleed screw, and I just put a little piece of towel in it. This one we cut off, so it doesn't matter if we paint it red. We just don't want the stuff to get in the thread. So I just start with just a light coat, just get it, I call it a tack coat, just get a little bit of red on the surface. It's a warm day, when I was doing this, so it's just want to make sure you get a nice coat, and I think it's going to take about 3 coats to get a nice, good, solid finish. So I give it you know, 5-10 minutes between each coat, and then you know you can go thicker each subsequent coat. So after the first one, then you can go a little bit, you know, more material on the second one, wait that 10 minutes, and then, you know, do that final third coat. So it's you know, just mess around with it, play around with your technique. And you know, I was just hanging them from a basketball hoop with some wire, so just find something that where you can get, you know, 360-degree access to the caliper. So you want to be able to make sure you got, you know, there's a lot of weird surfaces and weird angles, you know, things that it's hard to see. So I kind of have it at eye level, so I can go around 360 and get everything, get good coverage basically. So yeah. Alright guys, so turned out pretty good. You know, the can says it dries within 1 to 2 hours, but I call bullshit on that. I waited a whole day. I tried to mess with it yesterday, but it's not easy to work with. So anyway, we put the things back in, put the new brake line on, and so even redid the clamp. So let's go to the car. So now we're ready to put everything back on the car. So the most important thing is make sure you got clean hands. Any dirt, grease, or whatever definitely will start to leave marks on your fresh paint. So even with the, you know, the dry time of a day, it was there. So I got a little lube for the brake pads. You just want to make sure you got a little on there. So depending on, you know, your manufacturer, sometimes, you know, you may only have a single pad. So but like I said, just clean hands is the most important, and then just the reverse of the removal. Just get everything back on and get it cinched down, ready to rock and roll. Tighten up the caliper. Got the carrier. Got your support for the brake line, and attach the brake line to the car. Just remember, you know, I got that flare nut wrench just to tighten it up. I use just an open end wrench initially, get it snug, and then for that final little cinch, I switch to the other one. So as you can see, we got finished product here. Calipers looking very nice, brand new brake lines. So it's looking good. And on this particular car, we got the little clips, so I restored those as well. So get that in, looking good. And there's a picture of the back. Since we were doing the front, we got to do the back, and we got the hose on, ready for bleed. So this gives you kind of a quick before, kind of a rusty, dingy looking caliper, and there's the after. So yeah, not a bad project. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one.